I was requested to do a movie review, as you can see from the title change, and fair warning, I have very different perspectives on movies than most. This is why my top 50 animated movies video got so many dislikes. Now, although it's been a while since I've done something other than theories, 1.5 years to be exact, that doesn't mean I still do only theories. I asked what else I should do aside from theories on this channel. This is going to be interesting. Maybe I'll do reviews on video games and TV shows and YouTube videos too. If you've seen my second channel though, then you know that the repetitiveness of theorizing is really driving me to the brink of insanity. I didn't even need to waste a shell because it's too bad. Kill you with your own Goomba friends. Adoop. People are so confused at my terrible sense of humor that I'm practically a meme at this point, so yeah. Expect some of that to come out in this video. Hello, I'm the Theorizer, so it's time for me to rate movies. I used to do this on my channel way back in 2015 when I made a few top 10s, so I have a bit of experience with this kind of thing. But let's do this. Today I'm reviewing The Nightmare Before Christmas. I actually hadn't watched this movie for a long time, only having watched it during Christmas 2016 for the first time, but I thought it was pretty good. Not exactly something I could find anything to make theories on though. So basically, for those of you who don't know exactly what this movie is about, it's about a jack-o'-lantern crossbred with a daddy long-legged stick figure creating a mangled abomination of Tim Burton's fantasies, otherwise known as the Pumpkin King. He is unsatisfied with his land, known as Halloween Town, and being the gothic rebel that he is, he skips town. Finding a new place known as Christmas Town, I believe you can see an uncreative pattern here, he discovers that Christmas is more enjoyable than Halloween, so he attempts to turn Halloween into Christmas, which results in an absolute disaster. But hey, at least this Santa can actually fit down a chimney. Unfortunately, this Santa also would have snapped his legs at this point, but his Christmas disaster doesn't go unnoticed. Soon, the police are called, and from there, the military. Now, I like to eliminate a good spider infestation too, but these people pull out the heavy artillery and start blasting at him like misanthropic sociopaths. Meanwhile, a zombie girl has a crush on Skeleton, and she saves him multiple times. But in the end, Jack Skellington learns many lessons and sticks to his own holiday in the end, falling in love with the zombie as well. But in all seriousness, The Nightmare Before Christmas is a fantastic movie. I feel like Tim Burton really nailed it with this one. Being a person who watched it a couple of decades after it was released, I'm not exactly clouded by the nostalgia of something I never watched. So what do I think of this movie? I like it. A lot. I feel like it's a movie which people should watch every Christmas. It's like a classic. Most definitely. So let's break it down with a broad range of factors I've created. Creativity, quality of animation and/or filming, story and how many twists it has, as well as the pace and execution. Screenplay and writing, characters and how they develop, popularity and if it's overrated or nostalgically biased, the soundtrack and background music, and finally, because it's my channel, the bonus points are theorizability, if it's theorizable or not. So creativity, without a doubt, is very high. It's Tim Burton, what did you expect? The whole concept of the story and the way it plays out is beyond creative. I would put it as high as 8.5 out of 10. The only reason it isn't 10 out of 10 is because I've seen many other movies with creativity that blows this film out of the water. Inception, Interstellar, Coraline, maybe even Shrek. But this film still is really high up there in the realm of creativeness. Quality. Now, this movie was made back in 1993, a very long time ago. Animation like this wasn't even a thing back then. And in comparison, it naturally looks much worse than what we've had today, like Kubo and the Two Strings, but it's unfair to compare it to that. So I'll compare it to what other animation was like at the time, two-dimensional, which is far more unrealistic in the sense that it's a whole different dimension than the third, which makes this film look like a god in comparison. So I'll put it at 7.5 out of 10, just to meet in the middle. Story. There is a lot of creativity when considering this movie. Its story is quite good, but honestly, compared to many other films I've seen, this one lacks twists, but I guess it doesn't really need them. I suppose the execution and pace are okay, but the story itself is so. I will put it at 7.5 out of 10. Don't get me wrong, I love the story, but it's not the greatest I've seen like my entire life. Screenplay. So the screenplay is okay. When I think of screenplay, I think of it being the transition between the story and the quality. So if we average the two, that should give us how decent the screenplay is, around 7.5 out of 10. Characters. These characters develop quite well, but generically according to the story. Regardless of that, though, each and every one is built very defined, with the protagonist being very multidimensional. And because they all function very well, act mostly realistically, and show more than just one trait, especially this guy, I'm going to give the characters an 8 out of 10. Popularity. What I mean by this is the underratedness. High points if it's underrated, low points if it's overrated. And the film is somewhere in the middle. It isn't fair for the hype produced by the fans to cloud the ratings, so what do I think of it? I think that it's decent. That's probably around 5.5 out of 10 on the underratedness, just because of the insane amounts of hype. Perhaps this is a bad way to rate it, but in the end, it'll all even out. Finally, the music and soundtrack. What on earth is there to say? It's fantastic. Music is extremely important to me, and seeing fantastic music in films and TV is single-handedly what lets me decide one way or the other, and I'm giving The Nightmare Before Christmas a 9 out of 10 for the music. And I won't be including theorizability for this movie. Just because I couldn't sense an underlying backstory doesn't mean it needs to be dragged down by that. So now, let's average out all of the points and give it a rating. The Nightmare Before Christmas receives a 7.6 out of 10. Or in other words, a B. And this isn't even too far off from what other people have said. In my opinion, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas is what I would label as great. You see, anything below 3 is an F, anything below 5 is a D, 5 to 6 is a C-, 6 to 6.5 is a C, 6.5 to 7 is a C+, 7 to 8.5 is a B, and 8.5 to 10 is an A. In other words, 0 to 1 is the worst possible thing ever, 1 to 2 is abomination, 2 to 3 is very bad, 3 to 4 is just bad, 4 to 5 is subpar, 5 to 6 is okay, 6 to 7 is good, 7 to 8 is great, 8 to 9 is outstanding, and 9 to 10 is the best thing I could possibly watch. So, now that you know my system, see you next time. My next review, if I even do one, would be Inception, a movie so overrated it has made itself underrated due to everyone thinking it's too hyped.